Good morning, good morning. It is, it's Thursday morning. We got the $1 Million Street today. We got, and then Kat's already, she got over here at my house about 10 minutes after 7, and she's already down there cutting. So I'm waiting on the kid to get here now. He texted me this morning earlier and says, hey, are we working? It rained. I'm like, yeah, we're working. We got to, man. They're not calling for no big boy rain or nothing, so looks like that's my guy right there. Okay, y'all, so this is a prime example of what Irv was talking about yesterday. You know, the customers, they put all these obstacles in the way. So used to, we could run a mower all in here and run it this way all the way back to the driveway. But see, now they're gonna put these rock beds in with mulch. So you can't put a mower up there no more because, well, you're either blowing it in the house or into the beds. And that creates a problem for if you're trying to do, you know, for customers that are trying to do, will not pay a lot. So I told her that we got to weed eat all that in there now. See, and I went up $20 on her, and she did not like it at all. I wouldn't be surprised if they don't. It don't matter. I mean, I wanted to go up more than that. I was already cheap over here, but so now we got to weed eat everything inside there. See, I guess I could put it, and see, there's not enough room to put a mower up there with a bagger on it. Not a big mower. Now we could push it with the Honda, but I don't want. I mean, damn, dude. You know, I've been cutting this yard for, you know, a long time, and that creates another 25 minutes over here. It does. Because while somebody's spending the time weed eating that, it can't just anybody weed eat that. You gotta have a vet out here to do that. The new kid, he could probably do it, but it wouldn't look that good because he doesn't have that much experience. Now Justin could do it, I could do it, and the cat couldn't do it probably. She's really good on a lawnmower, and she is, I mean, she's a boss on a lawnmower, man. And I got to figure out a way to yeah, she's great on the lawnmower. So what I got to do now is I got to spend the next 15 minutes, 20 minutes right here weed eating everything. And what that does is that takes me off this 60-inch mower. And you guys all know that when the mower ain't running, you ain't earning like you're supposed to. And until Cam gets a little bit better with the weed eater, it's just better for him to be on a lawnmower, because the lawnmower will make sure that he is efficient, and he, you know, as long as I'm cutting things out in front of him and all that. So by the time we got over here today, Kat had already just about got done with that one. So we did all the detail and bowed that one off. It was done, and now we're on this one. We done cut the big field over there. So, you know, Kat getting over here this early like she does, it really helps, because I'll be honest, I pay her $80 to come over here and run the mower for a couple hours, you know, and it really helps us. So at the end of the day, out of this money today, it's costing me $180. It's cost me about $240 cost today to run. Now, so that means I need to make about $700 in order for me to, you know, be okay. Now that ain't ideal, but yeah, we may have to start incorporating a mower up here, because it would be quicker to run a lawnmower up here, but nobody wants to push no more. But when I look at all this and weed eating it, man, the only way that I could get Cam or somebody to do it, or a young guy that ain't got a lot of experience, is with a mower up here. And well, I'd rather him be mowing that back 40 than doing that. But customers are going to do this, and to them, it's like, well, you know, and then, well, to them, it ain't a big deal. You know, they don't want to pay any more because they put beds up, but they got to, and they will. They have to, because it's all about my time, so, and our time. So I got to weed eat this, man. I mean, that's 15 minutes right there that I had to spend. That you got to charge more money when they put all these obstacles in the way. And this ain't all they've done. I don't want to take the camera around back because they're outside, but so I'm gonna ride across these properties, and for the most part, an Exmark Laser Z X Series 60-inch deck with the Cowie 29 horsepower, the 940, with 2,700 hours on the mower. That is what cut about 80% of these properties. So the only part that mower did not cut is over in here. But all this and everything I'm going to show you is what a 2,700 hour Exmark cut today. So they say the Exmark aren't durable. You see, it cut all this. Look at this. Exmark with 2,700 hours cut all of that. Okay, y'all seen me do these before. I'm just going to touch these ones down here, and then next time we always break the bushes up because there's so much to do over here. So she texted me yesterday. Well, she was already on the schedule. She knew that, so she says, "Hey, you think you could touch the bushes out by the road?" And I'm like, "Okay." And that's for both sides of the driveway. I really don't have a good place to put y'all where y'all can see it all, so I'm gonna set y'all on the mower right here. I'm gonna grab my my hedge trimmers on the stick and do it. Now I can do these with handhelds too, but I got, and this is where a test for Cam is. I'm sending him up in that backyard by that pool area, and he is to do the pool area. So he ought to be knowing how to do the pool area and make it high and tight, and I'm gonna go behind him and make sure, because you can't let them do stuff like that, and if it's not right, let them know that, oh, it's all good, man, it's all good, when it's not, because you're not helping them if you do that. So I'm all about empowering these young men, but they got to prove that they can be empowered, right? So, but he doesn't know how to do bushes, and he certainly doesn't know how to do these. And these are real easy for a vet like me. I've done them, well, I've been doing them for over 16 years. So, yeah, y'all. Yep. Takes a minute to get back in shape for sure. Pretty much done with this side. You know, 30 minutes or so. But what I charge for these, to do these, is $200. So to do these out by the road, so we'll get $200 plus the yard is $170, plus the spraying is $370, plus the spraying another $60. So $430, something like that over here. And then on the neighbor over here, I get $200 for the grass. So yeah, I think I'm gonna get back in shape for sure. But I ain't trying to kill myself either, because I know this and the other one is all we got. You know, we got one tiny one on the way in, which takes like 20 minutes. Now the cleanup is what always gets people. You know, cleaning it up is a problem. But see, that's why she wanted me to do it, but they're having pine straw put in next week, so I don't have to hardcore clean out. I'll pull some of it out, and then I'll come down through here with the mower over in the bed and sling it out and then sling it back. And I got this many more to do on the other side. These are a little bit heavier than the other side. They're a little bit taller on this side. But I probably won't get no footage on the other side because I had to put the mower in the sun, and I ain't trying to do all that, man. Okay, so our first little bump in the road, you know, with the new help. Good kid, like him a lot, but he got a lot to learn, and he has to recognize that. So this is the second time we've been over here with him, and I usually have the guys that work for me take care of the pool area. It's their baby, if you will. And you have to, we have to weed eat everywhere, you have to mow everywhere, and you gotta blow. So I'm doing the bushes, and it usually takes about 45 minutes back here if you're doing it right. Okay. See, he's blowing, and there's no reason to be blowing right now. I haven't even cut the front yard yet. See, the timing of everything, and what that does, that works him a lot harder. Doesn't have to work that hard. And then I can see and sense a little attitude coming. And I just told him, I said, man, just take your time, dude. Don't get mad or anything. Just take your time and listen to what I'm telling you to do. And he seemed to, he smiled, and he's like, I said, we're just cutting grass, man, but you got to know these things, because I got to know that you know what you're doing when you go up in the pool area. Because if I got to come up in the pool area every time, then I don't need you out here on this day. To work out here with me, you got to do more than ride a lawnmower good. Matter of fact, riding the lawnmower is, a lot of guys and a lot of companies, they don't even let a new guy ride a lawnmower for the first season. So he's got to, but I try to let them where they're not doing all the heavy lifting. So by the fact that I did the bushes out there. Normally I don't do bushes. Normally I have the guys that work for me do the bushes, but I wanted him to get up in here, and I want him to learn. And so he done come all the way back to the truck, and he's blowing, and I'm like, dude, I come back up here and I'm looking, and I'm like, man, you're gonna have to damn bring the weed eater back up here, dude. Really the mower, but yeah. So anyway, we'll see how he responds. It is what it is. We can't do second-rate work. So, you need a backpack blower, man, to really get it good. You got to do a good job when you're charging people, man. You can't just. He thinks because that blower's lighter that it's better, but it's not. You have to hold it a lot longer. Okay, y'all, we got done, man. Good day. Like I was saying in the field over there, everybody's got to learn what they're doing out here, and sometimes it can be pretty frustrating learning. Sometimes when guys come out here, I make it too easy for them, where they don't have to think because I'm trying to get done, right? And or they very little thinking, and obviously I'm not good with dealing with labor and everything. But I'm trying to do things a little bit different with him, and just, you know, explain to him the why. If guys don't know why they're weed eating this or not weed eating that, then it's a long haul for them, man. It just is, you know. But the biggest thing is the guys can't get an attitude, because I have, contrary to what people on YouTube might think, I have simmered down my, well, I've been working on my anger issues, put it that way. And I'm trying not to, you know, belittle guys, and I try not to yell, and I try to explain things in a way to where I'm coming off as, well, an authoritative figure, if you will, but it's just business, man. It's nothing personal. And I don't want guys to come out here and work harder than they have to. I don't want to do that. I don't want to see them work harder than they have to, because at the end of the day, the jobs are going to get done the same way the customer expectation, that's what they're going to get done to meet that. No matter how somebody feels, no matter how the equipment's running, no matter how, you know, young someone is or old someone is, the jobs have got to get done to a certain spec. And if they don't get that, and they don't get done to that, then we're going to go back and do it and get it there. And we ran into a little bit of that today, and he responded pretty good, really. A lot of younger guys that come out here, that have been out here, they want to try to do everything really fast. And there's nothing wrong with that to a certain degree, but if you don't have no experience, you're not going to be able to do it fast. Just because, well, what ends up happening is you have to go back and do it again. And then what happened today, and really threw our timing way off, and I made some errors today too. One of the errors that I made today is I had to stop and get fuel twice, and that's not, you know, that's a 15-minute, 20-minute ordeal, because we ran out of ethanol-free fuel. But the other truck that Cat was in, it had ethanol-free fuel on it. So this morning when we were headed over to that job, I said, well, shoot, I'm not going to stop and put fuel in. I'm not going to get ethanol-free, because I got to go to a special gas station for that. But I did have to stop and fill a lawnmower up. You don't want to be on them big cuts and be struggling for fuel. So, but then I had to turn around after we got done with the big cut, because Cat left there and took the gas can with her. And now we got these two big properties to do, and we don't have no mix. I got oil and everything, and I got the can, and I can mix some up out of my regular gas can that I have on the trailer. But I'm just saying all this to show that, well, that I make mistakes too, and I cost us some time today. Now, and my guy, and when before we got those last two where he faced some challenges, I was telling myself in the mirror, you know, I'm like, dude, I can't believe that you got stopped twice for fuel. And I'm telling him, and I'm showing him that I'm yelling at myself, because when I'm talking to him, or talking to him about, you know, work and what to do, and hey, you got to do it better than that, I want to apply that to myself too. You can't just dog guys out without dogging yourself out, you know. And that's where I'm trying to do things a little bit different. Yeah, he had some hiccups today in that backyard pool area, you know, and I told him, I said, look, you need to pump the brakes and go back there and do it again, man. And he didn't want to, I could tell, but he didn't say anything. He said, okay. But his body language was like he's ready to cuss me out. And I don't want that to happen, of course, because then he can't be out here anymore. And I don't want him to hurt his own, you know, immediate future, because he got mad because I'm trying to explain something to him. So I had to show him that I get mad at myself too. I wasn't mad at him, but you know, when I was telling him what the weed is, he's cranking the weed eater up, and I said, no, stop, just stop turn the weed eater off, and I want you to listen to what I'm showing, and I'm showing you what I want you to do. Instead of yeah, and then you're back up here again and again. I want to tell you what to do, explain to you exactly what you got to do, so then you're not having to come back again. You're already having to come back twice. So now I'm telling you, and you're frustrated a little bit. I get it. And if you don't do it like I say, then you got to come back up there again. And then that starts pushing guys. Then they start thinking I'm picking on them or whatever. But I'm not. The properties have got to be done to what the customer's paying for. Don't matter about anything else. That's all that matters. And if it's not, no matter how fast or how slow you did it, we got to go back and do it right. And that's what we're going to do if you're working for me. We're not going to do things half-ass. And it's not that he was trying to do it half-ass. You got to understand where the guys are coming from. He wasn't trying to do it half-ass. He just doesn't know. And I want him to know. And the only way for him to know is for me to stop the presses, stop everything, and explain it to him. But by the fact that he had to go back over that pool area twice, that screwed the timing up on 2 properties that we usually, do together. And it's all about the timing. Because I'm having to spend 10 minutes explaining to him, and he's having to spend 20 minutes going back and doing the same job again. And what that does is that creates a lot of, well, now the timing's all off. Because when he came out of the back from the very beginning, I'm thinking he's done. Right? And I'm done with the bushes. That was the thing. You do the backyard, I'll do the bushes, and then we'll just see where we're at. But I didn't have to go back and do the bushes anymore, but he had to go and do the back again. And that screwed the timing up to where the next time we'll be over there and he'll be like, we didn't do it like this last time. And the reason why we didn't, because I do the properties the same way every time. Every time I do them the same way. The expectations from the guys that are working for me is every time they got to do this, and that. In that pool area, every time he's got to do it like this, and that. And I will say that it's only his second time over there. And he doesn't come from a lot of experience in this stuff. So I wasn't yelling at him or nothing. I was just pointing out, hey man, it's got to be better. I mean, I don't know how else to be diplomatically correct or politically correct. It's got to be better than that. And if it's not, then we got to do it again. And then if it's not, we got to do it again and again until it is, until it meets the customer's specs on what their expectations are. It's nothing more than that, nothing less than that. But he took it in stride, and I can see him getting a little upset. And I told him, I said, look, man, don't get upset about anything. It's just business, man. You got to do things correctly out here. These people are paying us to do this. And I'm paying you really good money. And a part of making really good money is you have to do a good job. And if you don't know that, then the hardest thing is not knowing what your job is. Well, you got to explain it to them better. That's what I was doing. You got to let them fall into the ditch sometimes, and then you correct them so they'll remember better. But I'm telling him the whole time, behind the scenes, look, man, this is the hardest it's going to be for you. You got to learn the job. Quit worrying about how many yards we got left. Quit worrying about how much money, you're making. Quit worrying about all of that. Learn the job. And if you're a young man working for a guy like me, learn the freaking job. Listen to what the 20-year vet is telling you. Take notes if you have to on properties that the 20-year vet has been doing for 18 years. The same exact property I've been doing since he was born. The exact same Miss Smith and Miss Judy over here. The same properties. So you just take in stride what I'm telling you and know that there's a reason behind everything. And even though I may not go into all the explanations of why when we're in the field, basically to do what I ask you to do. and it'll all come together for you in the long term. But he did good. He didn't get a smart mouth like a lot of young men would get. He didn't get us in his feelings, and you know, and I even bought him a steak salmon today. So, you know, sit on the couch for a minute, man. I'm tired, man, and yeah.